If the Earthen make you hard, things are about to get really good for you. New Earthen NPCs are showing up all over Azeroth. Yeah, that's right. Specifically, Stormwind, Ironforge, and Orgrimmar. These Earthen are experiencing what it's like to join us, the denizens of Azeroth, and the simple treasures of life, like swimming in our local fountains. Yeah, so you're going to start to see Earthen all over the local cities here as they get more and more intertwined into the Alliance and the Horde. And I'll be honest, guys, playing the Earthen on the beta servers with you guys the other day, it was actually quite fun. The Earthen are much more interesting than I expected them to be. I just, they're really the reskin of dwarves, but I kind of like some of their origin story, the way they talk, some of the little nuances that make them different from dwarves. Some really cool stuff. So you'll be able to see them again in Ironforge. Some of them are reading up on different things, getting into the Explorers Guild. You'll find them all over the place. You'll see them resting around, talking to some orcs, having a good old time. So interesting stuff from there. We'll continue to see more and more Earthen getting integrated into the Alliance and the Horde as we go forward here. Some really cool stuff coming out. If you're into mounts, if you're a mount hunter, you're going to love this one. Complete the Glory of the Delver and earn the Ivory Goliathus mount. Yes, so this is really cool. This is a basically... it's not really like an AOTC or something, but this is like an achievement attached to basically reaching the highest level of delves and completing a few different achievements in them as well along the way. So if you complete those, you will get Glory of the Delver. And for getting that achievement, you will receive the Ivory Goliath. This is a really nice looking mount. I'll be honest, I've never been a big fan of bug mounts, but I'm going to show you another bug mount here in a minute after this one. And these bug mounts look really good. I'm loving these new models. These new bug models look really, really cool. This is a nice looking mount. I'll be trying to go for it as well. And don't forget, not only are you going to be able to get this mount through your delves, but of course you're going to be able to get your customizable mount as well and get more and more customizations as you delve deeper to delve. That's right, yeah. Moving on, updates to Warband transferable currencies in the War Within beta. Now, when I was proven right about the War Within launch date, and a lot of people pushed back on that date when I first said it because they said, well, I'm not going to get to use my Pandaria Remix characters in the pre-patch event. What is this? Now, first of all, you will be able to use your characters for about a week. So pre-patch will be live most likely for a little while your characters are still locked in the Mists of Pandaria. But for about a week, you're going to be able to still do some pre-patch content. And realistically, you don't need more than a week to get a lot of this shit done. But here's another thing, a good catch-up mechanic. Blizzard has added a few currencies onto the, Warband currency list. Basically, currencies that you could transfer all around your characters. Those include Time Warp badges, but more importantly, they include the residual memory currencies. So these are the currencies that you're going to be getting while you're doing all of the new, what's it called? Like the new memory events that are going to be happening all over Azeroth. So if you happen to miss that first couple weeks of pre-patch or first week or so of pre-patch with your Mists of Pandaria character, you will be able to gather it up on all your mains and then transfer it all over to your character to be able to basically catch up really quick, buy a bunch of gear, and basically prepare your Mists of Pandaria Remix character for the War Within. So that's really nice. A few other currencies that are coming over as well as the Merildar Derby marks, which are the fishing tournament currencies and stuff like that. So that's nice. Blizzard keeps expanding this list. They keep adding more stuff to it, so that's great. All these currencies being transferable between characters is a nice addition to the game, and Warbands overall is a big W for everybody. The War Within beta development notes for June 11th. So the beta was updated just yesterday, meaning there's a bunch of changes, a bunch of new things to test. And the main thing is a lot of new new class tweaks, right? A couple notes here and there for every class, but this is really about hunters. Look at the hunter changes. Yeah, this is a list, boys and girls. We're still in the hunter changes here. So if you plan on playing hunter in the War Within and you have beta access, we're still in hunter. This is your time to test out hunters. Hunters have been completely revamped from the ground up, basically every single spec, and now we're in mage. So yeah, and look how short everything else is for every other class. Very tiny. But hunter, this is your time to shine. You want to get in there and test all the new hunter stuff that's going on. Blizzard did a complete hunter rework, and this new testing phase right here is really for the hunters. And it's also for raiding, which we'll get into in a second here. A new update to some hero talent specialization icons. Now, the R team's always winning. We see some new icons in here coming from Archon Priests, Rider of the Apocalypse Death Knights, Spellslinger Mages, and Deathstalker and Fatebound Rogues. So, really cool stuff. Look at this. Beautiful. The R team's always winning. So these will continually get updated. We've seen a bunch of new stuff. I really like a lot of these icons for the hero talents. We'll see if we like the hero talents themselves as much as the icons. Now, Blizzard's been really balancing these out. I've been liking a lot of the changes they've been making specifically for Death Knights. I feel like Death Knights are going to be in a really good spot going forward. But overall, hero talents so far, they're really leaning into them. The tier set bonuses aren't that great, and specifically Blizzard said that's because they want hero talents to shine in the first season. So we'll see how good these things go. What's up, Ed? Good morning. More very special effect gear, more very rare special effect gear in the War Within. So we're looking at some of the very rare gear that's dropping in the raid, as well as one of the extremely rare pieces that are going to be dropping. So first off, to start, we see there's some defensive cloak and a defensive cloak and a trinket coming for tanks. So that's going to be really nice seeing some of these. The cloak will give you some nice defensive abilities, as well as the Surik Zealot Insignia, which will when you receive hero healing from allies, you have a chance to restore 6,250 mana to your ally as well, granting you 247 verse. That's a nice back and forth between the healer and the tank there. Remember, tanking trinkets and things like that will be specific for tanks now, more so that tanks can only use them. And the DPS specific trinkets will be different, so no longer will you see tanks really grabbing DPS trinkets to try to up their DPS. And then a few other trinkets and things here that we'll see, including the Void Reaper blades, right? These are those really cool looking blades that we saw for basically they look like ethereal weapons. They also have a very cool special effect here. So these are the blades. I'm going to lower this. So really cool stuff that you'll see as you're using these weapons. Some ethereals kind of fly across and help you out. So really cool special effects from these blades. Obviously, if you're a rogue, you're going to want these along with your freaking rogue tier set, which literally makes you look like an ethereal. Really, really cool stuff coming out of these new weapons. And last but not least, the extremely rare drop will be a freaking badass mount. Much like the renewed Proto Drake for Farak, we are going to be able to get Reigns of the Ascendant Skyraiser. And this will drop off of Queen Ansarak, the final boss in the raid, and it'll work much the same way that the Farak mount did, in that if you are in Mythic, it will be a guaranteed drop, whereas if you are in lower, Heroic or Normal, there is a chance that it can drop, but it is much less, and it is considered to be extremely rare. This mount is absolutely glorious. Again, as I said before, I've never been a bug mount fan, but damn. This thing looks freaking amazing. We recently saw pictures of it where this animation kind of looked janky. It looks like it's been fixed. This is a really, really cool thing. It's a void-infused bug, basically. Absolutely freaking badass. I mean, this is going to be an extremely rare drop unless you're doing it on Mythic. So for most of us peasants out there, this will be something that we'll be vying to get, but most likely we'll get it. Hopefully. I like that they at least give you a chance, right? It's nice that we at least get a chance to get this thing, even if we don't Mythic raid. Moving on to the raid itself. So testing will continue on here. We see Blizzard finally released the schedule. They did say that testing was going to begin, and then people were a little bit pissed off at how short the schedule was. So Blizzard has kind of refined it. Now again, just remember, Queen Ansarak, the final boss, will not be available for testing. Blizzard's been doing this since Shadowlands when the Jailer came out. No testing of the final boss, and they're continuing to do that. And I actually like it. Seeing the final boss for the first time in the actual game is a pretty cool moment. So for heroic testing, we see June 13th and 14th, I believe. Oh, June 13th, 14th, 27th. Those will be heroic raid testing for the three basically different sections of the raid and boss sets. And then starting Friday, June 28th, we see mythic raid testing begins, as well as normal and full raid. Yeah, full raid for normal will begin on that date as well. And then June 10th, June 11th, July 10th, July 11th, and July 12th. We will see more Mythic raid testing, followed by Raid Finder both wings on July 12th. So there you go. If you have beta access, you want to test out this raid, you can get in there and finally see what these bosses are all about.